All right, so welcome to today's deep dive. We're going to be looking at the entertainment industry.
Yep.
Specifically, we're going to be dissecting the Further and Better's global TV, film, and media industry news roundup from February 27th, 2025.
Okay.
So get ready for some insider knowledge.
You know, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Just how much change is going on in the industry right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's really in a state of flux.
For sure.
And this issue kind of highlights a lot of those major trends.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest areas where we're seeing that is in the streaming wars.
For sure.
They are really heating up.
Absolutely.
And I think one of the biggest indicators of that is Max.
Right.
They're moving into Australia in March.
Yeah.
They're taking over all the HBO content on Binge.
This is really fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
Because they're basically
Taking a gamble, yeah.
that Max is a big enough name
Right.
to draw those subscribers
Exactly. Yeah, and they've got...
away from those established platforms. They've got some pretty big hitters. The Last of Us, for example.
Yeah, season 2 of that is coming out April 14th.
It is, yeah.
That's going to be a big one for them.
Absolutely.
And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have Tubi, which is doing something really different.
Yeah.
It's free.
Completely free.
Ad-supported.
Ad-supported, yeah.
And they have a massive library.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Over 275,000 titles.
It's incredible, isn't it?
I know.
That's the largest library
Out of any of the streamers.
of any streaming platform.
It's crazy.
It's just crazy.
So, I mean, it's really interesting because it feels like they're really tapping into this, like, growing sense of subscription fatigue.
It really does, yeah.
You know, people are just tired of
They are.
paying for all these different services.
They are.
And then here comes Tubi. Like,
Exactly.
here's everything you could possibly want
Yeah.
for free.
Yeah.
Just watch a couple ads.
Makes you wonder what the other platforms are going to do.
I know. How are they going to
How are they going to respond?
to this?
Yeah.
You know, and they're also being really strategic about the kind of content they're bringing in.
Yeah.
So they simulcasted the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
They're partnering with WWE and the Blacklist.
They are?
And they even got exclusive rights to the CONCACAF Champions Cup in Mexico.
They're really hitting a lot of different demographics.
Yeah.
They're not trying to be everything to everyone,
Right.
but they're really targeting those specific audiences
Exactly.
and giving them what they want.
Yeah, it's smart.
It is. It is.
And then we have Prime Video,
Okay.
who I feel like are taking kind of a something for everyone approach.
Right, yeah.
Hannah Blythe, their head of TV licensing, is talking about how their content slate is really diverse.
It is, yeah. And there are some interesting titles in there as well. Molly May, Behind It All, for example, that docuseries, which is really interesting because it shows that they're
trying to
appeal to that.
get that younger female demographic.
Absolutely.
Which is so important these days.
It is, yeah.
That's all about
Especially with such a
targeted content.
fragmented market now.
Right.
You can't just put anything out there.
No.
You've really got to know
And hope that it sticks.
who you're aiming at.
Right. And then we have Viaplay,
Okay.
who are showcasing their 2025 slate,
Right.
which is really exciting.
It is, yeah.
They have everything from like dramas to documentaries to true crime. And they even have like A Life's Worth,
Okay.
which is a drama about the first Swedish UN battalion in Bosnia.
Wow. So they're really going for that global reach as well.
Yeah.
I think that's something that's so interesting about these streaming platforms is that they're really bringing
breaking down those barriers.
all these different cultures
Yeah.
and showing people all over the world stories they might not otherwise see.
It's like having a passport to the world.
Exactly.
Right, from your living room.
Exactly.
And then speaking of global hits,
Yeah.
got to talk about Ne Zha, too.
Okay.
This Chinese animated film
Yeah.
is absolutely smashing box office records.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, surpassing even like
yeah.
Disney, Pixar,
I know.
which is a feat, you know?
Huge. It's really huge. And it's on track to hit $2 billion
$2 billion.
in a single market.
Yeah, in a single market.
That's crazy.
It is, yeah.
No film has ever done that before.
It's unprecedented, yeah.
Which I think really just shows
Does, yeah.
growing influence of Chinese cinema.
Absolutely. It's really
challenging Hollywood's dominance in a big way.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm really excited to see it.
Me too.
But speaking of international collaborations, there are some that are facing a bit of
turbulence.
Turbulence?
Yeah.
The UK-US co-production model,
Right.
which has been like a powerhouse.
A powerhouse in television is seeing a really significant decline.
Yeah, yeah.
Spending on those co-productions absolutely plummeted in 2024.
It did.
Less than half of what it was the previous year.
Yeah, I mean, what was it, like 19.6 million pounds in 2024?
Yeah.
Compared to
44.2 in 2023.
It's a huge drop.
It's a huge drop.
Yeah.
And factors like reduced U.S. investment.
Right.
And then you have the financial struggles
of
UK broadcasters like the BBC.
Like the BBC, exactly.
Are all playing a role in this.
They are. So it makes you wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah, where do we
to these kinds of
from here?
International partnerships.
Yeah. Like, are we going to see more...
Are we going to see
diverse collaboration?
Different models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to think about.
It is. It is.
And speaking of uncertainty, we have the James Bond franchise.
Okay.
Which is at a little bit of a crossroads now that Amazon has acquired MGM.
Yeah.
And the Broccoli family, who have been like
the guardians of Bond.
The guardians of Bond for decades.
Right.
Are understandably cautious about any big changes.
They are, yeah.
So I think this is one of the biggest question marks.
It is.
In the industry right now, you know, what is Amazon going to do?
What are they going to do?
With this beloved franchise.
Exactly.
You know, it's really exciting to think about.
It is, yeah.
Because on the one hand, Amazon is known for taking risks. But on the other hand, they also really understand the importance of legacy.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think with Bond, you can't just reboot it.
You can't just reboot it. You have to respect.
You have to respect its history.
Its history. So it's going to be fascinating to see what they do.
It is. Yeah. I can't wait to see what direction they take it.
Me neither.
And I'm also really excited to see how fans respond.
Oh, for sure. You know, because Bond fans are notoriously passionate.
They are.
So I'm sure they'll have a lot to say about whatever decisions are made.
Sure.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely a story to keep an eye on.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And those quieter stories can really pack a punch sometimes.
For sure.
Amidst all the like big explosions and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the human element that gets you.
Right.
Gets you right in the feels.
But speaking of big budget stuff.
Okay.
Let's go back to the streaming wars for a minute.
Right.
Max executives actually outlined their UK strategy at MIP London.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it sounds like they're going for a...
Quality over quantity.
Yeah, quality over quantity.
Yeah, that's right.
Approach.
MIP London, for those who don't know. It's a huge television market.
It is, yeah.
International television market.
Yeah, studios, distributors.
Everybody's there.
Showcasing their new content.
Exactly.
So Max was really emphasizing their focus on that. Yeah.
High caliber content, that HBO legacy, right?
Right.
And they also really talked about the importance of a reliable platform experience.
They want to be seen as the premium.
Yeah, premium
streaming destination.
And then you have Tubi, which is taking a very different
approach, yeah. Yeah. They were at MIP London as well.
Okay.
And they were really highlighting their massive catalog.
Right.
Their diverse genres. Really emphasizing
affordability
and choice.
Sure.
And choice.
Which is smart because the UK market is already really
saturated
with streaming options.
So many options.
Yeah. It's really interesting to see how they're kind of carving out
It is, yeah.
their own little space.
Their own little niche.
Exactly.
It's like a streaming buffet.
Yeah.
Where you could just kind of pick and choose.
Sample a little bit of everything.
Sample whatever you want.
Without breaking the bank. Exactly.
Love that analogy.
I'm full of them.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so let's shift gears from the digital world to the world of film festivals. Cannes Marché du Film has announced that Brazil will be the country of honor for 2025.
That's great.
Which is a big deal.
It is, yeah.
And it's particularly poignant because this coincides with the 200th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Brazil and France.
I did not know that.
So we can expect a fantastic showcase of
for sure.
Brazilian cinema.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure it's going to be a really exciting celebration of their filmmaking talent.
It will be.
And their rich histories.
I'm adding it to my calendar as we speak.
Me too.
Yeah.
And then we have CPH.dox.
Okay.
The International Documentary Film Festival in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Which is shining a light on human rights.
Human rights, yeah.
With its 2025 theme.
What is it?
Right here. right now.
Ooh, that's good.
I know, right?
Very timely.
Very timely. So the festival is going to be showcasing a wide array of documentaries, all exploring different human rights issues.
Oh, that's going to be powerful.
Yeah, really looking forward to that one.
Me too.
And then over at SXSFU, they're hosting the premiere of Reef Builders.
Ooh. I've heard of this one.
Oh, cool. Have you?
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
It's about coral reefs, right?
Yeah, it focuses on all the efforts being made to restore coral reef.
Yeah, around the world.
Around the world, exactly.
Yeah.
It's directed by Stephen Sherman.
Okay.
And features Ali Carvalho.
Cool.
And it really highlights the importance of those Osher communities that are really at the forefront of protecting those ecosystems.
It's a big issue. One that needs more attention.
For sure. And I think this documentary is really going to bring that to a wider audience.
I think so, too. And I think we're seeing more and more of this kind of environmental storytelling, which is really important.
Especially as we're grappling with climate change.
Absolutely. Yeah. We need to find ways to
bring these issues
to people.
To the forefront.
And inspire action.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now let's talk adaptations.
Okay.
BBC Studios is having a lot of success with their formats. Slovakia's TV Markiza and Czechia's TV Nova have both picked up adaptations of some popular shows.
Let's hear it.
So TV Markiza is developing a local version of Smother.
Oh, yeah.
Which is that Irish thriller.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then TV Nova has snagged the rights to adapt Dr. Foster.
Dr. Foster. Nice.
So it's really interesting to see how these stories...
How are they going to reimagine them for those different cultures, cultural contexts, while still retaining that
core essence.
Like making a recipe. And adding your little twist to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of exciting projects, Scott Foley, who you might remember from Scandals,
I do,
is going to be starring in Amazon Prime Videos. It's not like that. This is a faith-based series developed by Wonder Project.
Interesting.
It follows a recently divorced mother of 2 and a recently widowed father of 3 as they navigate the challenges of single parenthood.
Okay, so kind of a blended family situation.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And Foley's character is a minister who's grappling with his own personal struggles.
Kind of like a faith versus real life.
Yeah, kind of a thing.
Exactly. It sounds really heartwarming.
It does, yeah.
But also with a touch of
real life.
Of real life grit, you know?
Yeah.
And then California Scenario. Which is an indie feature co-written by Dara Resnick and James Takata. Has a really impressive cast. Will Yun Lee.
Oh, cool.
Abby Miller. John Huertas.
Nice.
And the incredibly talented Brooklyn Prince.
She's amazing.
She is fantastic.
Yeah.
The film is directed by Takata.
Okay.
And it's a coming of middle age love story.
Okay.
Set against the backdrop of Isamu Noguchi's iconic California Scenario sculptural garden.
Wow. So it's going to be visually stunning as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a feast for the eyes.
It is, yeah.
For sure.
And the heart.
And the heart.
Hopefully.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about a project that's actually already wrapped production.
Which is Apple Original Films documentary. Bono. Stories of Surrender.
Oh, wow. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Bono, huh?
Bono, U2 frontman.
The U2 frontman.
Legend,
yeah.
And this film is directed by Andrew Dominic. And it's going to premiere on Apple TV Plus.
Makes sense.
But also on Apple Vision Pro.
Ooh, interesting.
Which means that viewers can...
Oh, so they can experience it in...
Immerse themselves.
Virtual reality.
In virtual reality.
Well, that's cool.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's very cool.
It's going to be like...
What a way to...
Right there with Bono.
Experience his life story.
Right there, exactly.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I'm very excited about that one.
I am too, actually.
And then over on HBO and BBC... The drama Half Man... is adding some serious acting talent to its already stellar cast.
Cool. Who are we talking?
So we've got Mitchell Robertson, Stuart Campbell, Neve McIntosh, and Marianne McIvor. They're all joining Richard Gadd and Jamie Bell.
Wow, so a really strong ensemble.
Yeah, it's a really fantastic cast.
What's the show about?
So the show follows two estranged brothers from their teenage years to adulthood.
Okay.
And it really explores their complex relationship against the backdrop of 4 decades of social and cultural change.
Wow, that's a big scope.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really
it is,
compelling exploration of family dynamics.
It sounds like it, yeah.
And also just the lasting impact of the past.
How the past shapes us.
Exactly. And then for those who like a good scare, the Casket Girls sounds pretty chilling.
Does, doesn't it?
It does, it does.
What's that one about?
So this is a QC entertainment film. Directed by Justin Dick.
All right.
And co-written by Thomas Lennon. And Robert Ben Grant.
Cool.
And it's based on a true story.
Oh, wow.
Which is
always adds a little something, doesn't it?
A little extra layer.
An extra layer of creepiness.
Exactly.
Sure.
It takes us back to the early 1700s.
Okay.
And follows the journey of these young women.
Okay.
Who are sent from France to New Orleans.
All right.
Where they get caught up in this really dark...
sinister plot.
And sinister plot.
Sounds good.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'm into it.
So it's like a historical
horror with a real life twist.
What's that real life twist?
Nice.
Speaking of comebacks.
Yeah.
Daredevil. Born Again.
Oh, yeah, this is a big one.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been waiting for this.
A lot of fans have been waiting for this.
Yeah, for sure.
It's back on track after facing some setbacks.
Yeah, there were some.
Due to the industry strikes?
Right. Those were big disruption for a lot of productions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's moving from Netflix to Disney.
Okay.
Which is a big change.
It is, yeah.
But they have a new showrunner.
Okay.
Dario Scardapane.
All right.
And both Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil, and Vincent D'Onofrio, Kingpin, are back on board.
Good to hear.
And very excited.
That's great to hear.
About the new direction of the project.
That's a good sign.
A good sign.
I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Me too, yeah.
And then in the realm of historical biopics, The Bitter End, which is about Wallace Simpson, has added another big name to its cast.
Oh, cool. Who is it?
Isabella Rossellini.
Wow, Isabella Rossellini.
I know, right?
That's a big get.
She's joining Joan Collins.
Wow, so we've got Joan Collins.
Who's playing Wallace Simpson. And Isabella Rossellini.
Amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
It's directed by Mike Newell. And written by Louise Fennell.
All right.
And the film really delves into those final years.
Right. Of the American socialite. Who famously married King Edward VIII.
Right, which led to his abdication.
Leading to his abdication.
Yeah, it's a story that people are still fascinated by.
Yeah, just full of intrigue.
Full of intrigue and scandal.
And it's just one of those stories that continues to fascinate people.
It does, yeah.
Now let's talk about
a
classic thriller getting a modern makeover.
Okay, I like this.
Apple TV Plus is developing a Cape Fear series.
Cape Fear, wow.
I know.
Interesting.
And Patrick Wilson is joining the cast alongside Javier Bardem and Amy Adams.
Wow. That's a
good lineup.
Good lineup, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the premise?
So the series is based on John D. MacDonald's novel, The Executionals.
Okay.
And it's going to be taken...
So you have a fresh perspective on that.
A fresh perspective. Classic tale of revenge.
On that classic tale of revenge.
Yeah.
And it's going to explore America's fascination with
true crime.
And really delve into those psychological complexities of the pursuer and the pursued.
It's always interesting to see both sides of that story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how they update that story for a contemporary audience.
How do you make that relevant?
Exactly.
For today.
And then Hulu and 20th Television are teaming up to develop Hip Hop Cop.
Hip Hop Cop, all right.
Which is a TV series based on Ron Stallworth's memoir, The Gangs of Zion.
Okay.
Curtis 50 Cent Jackson's G Unit Film and Television is on board as an executive producer.
All right.
And so is Ashok Amitrage's Hyde Park Entertainment Group.
So some big names attached to this one.
Big names.
Yeah.
And the series is going to explore
Stalwart's experiences as an undercover police officer infiltrating the Ku Klux Klan while also navigating the rise of hip-hop culture.
So in the 90s?
In the 1990s. Yeah. So it's going to touch on...
Yeah, this is going to be a powerful story.
Themes of race, identity, cultural change.
Absolutely.
I mean, really looking forward to seeing how they handle it.
Me too.
Yeah.
And then there's the adaptation of Evan Gershkovich's story, which is truly inspiring.
It is, yeah. I mean, his story is incredible.
Amazon MGM Studios, United Artists, and Scott Stuber are all working together to bring his experiences to the screen.
Wow.
Edward Berger, who did All Quiet on the Western Front.
All Quiet on the Western Front, yeah.
Is directing. And David Weil is writing the screenplay.
Cool.
And what's amazing is that Gershkovich himself, who was wrongfully imprisoned in Russia.
Yeah, on those fabricated charges.
On those fabricated charges is going to be an executive producer.
That's amazing.
On the film.
That's incredible.
Which I think just speaks volumes about his character.
He speaks to his resilience.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's a story.
It's a story that needs to be told.
That needs to be told.
Yeah.
You know, about resilience, freedom of the press.
Absolutely.
The pursuit of truth.
Yeah. So important.
So important.
Especially these days.
Especially these days.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about another captivating format.
Okay.
The Polish channel, TVN, has acquired the rights to adapt the Dutch quiz show, The
Floor, cool.
Which has already been licensed in over 20 territories.
Yeah, it must be pretty good.
It's pretty popular.
Yeah.
It was created by Talpa Studios. And it's just a really fun, interactive format that I think really transcends...
Yeah, those game shows could be really universal.
Cultural boundaries.
Yeah.
It really just taps into...
that human desire for...
competitive spirit.
Competition, yeah.
You know.
We all love a good challenge.
Right.
Yeah.
And speaking of global collaborations, Tokyo Broadcasting System, TBS, and Most Production are teaming up again, this time to remake the 1999 Japanese drama.
La Belle Homme.
La Belle Homme.
Which is...
What's that one about?
This haunting love story about a plastic surgeon who believes he sees his deceased wife's face in a mysterious woman.
That's going to be a tearjerker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was already adapted in South Korea.
All right.
And now it's getting...
a Turkish remake.
So it's really interesting.
It is, yeah.
To see how
that story
translates across cultures. Yeah, it's got those universal themes.
Exactly.
Love, loss, searching for connection. You know, that kind of transcends.
It's really beautiful.
Borders and languages.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, on a more serious note, Leaving Neverland 2, Surviving Michael Jackson is set to premiere on YouTube's Real Stories channel.
Right.
This documentary is going to continue the conversations surrounding the abuse allegations against Michael Jackson.
This is going to be a tough one.
Yeah. It's going to delve deeper into the impact of those allegations.
On those involved. Yeah.
And I think it's just going to...
It's going to spark a lot of discussion.
Yeah,
for sure.
And reflection on this really
complex and sensitive topic. Yeah, these documentaries can be really powerful.
They can.
You know, they can give a voice to people who might not otherwise be heard.
Exactly. They really can.
They really can.
Hold a mirror up.
They do.
To society. Absolutely. And speaking of reaching a wider audience, Paramount is launching a branded content hub in Turkey. They're bringing TOD and BIN Connect to Turkish platforms. And I think this really shows their commitment to...
to growing their global footprint.
Expanding their global reach.
Absolutely, especially in those emerging markets. Like Turkey. Yeah.
And it's really all about recognizing the potential
of those markets. Yeah.
And just the streaming wars
they are going global.
They're going global. You know, and these companies are vying for dominance.
They are.
In these new territories.
Yeah. It's a fascinating time to be watching this industry.
It really is.
Yeah.
And then ITV Studios is also making waves in the global market.
Right.
They've announced partnerships with Vice Media and China's Zhejiang Media.
Cool.
So it's really interesting to see.
It is, yeah. All these companies are joining forces.
Happening across borders to create and distribute content that's reaching a wider audience.
A wider audience than ever before.
It's
pretty amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's like this global network.
It is, yeah.
Of creativity.
It is, yeah.
And within this network, individual companies are also making
strategic moves.
Yeah. Big Owl Pictures, for example, is expanding into India through a deal with Initium Productions. And this partnership is really focused on producing and distributing unscripted formats.
For the Indian market.
Indian market.
Yeah. There's a huge demand for that kind of content there.
There is.
Reality TV documentaries.
Yeah. So they're really tapping into that local expertise.
And that cultural specificity.
Exactly.
So important.
So important.
Yeah.
And then SBS Histoire is producing a documentary series exploring the 7 wonders of the ancient world.
Wow.
Which is
that's a great comic.
A fantastic concept.
Yeah.
And it's going to take us...
It's going to be a visual feast.
In this captivating journey.
It is, yeah.
Exploring those marvels.
Those architectural marvels.
Of the ancient world.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be
a good one.
A really fantastic blend of...
Yeah, education and entertainment. Yeah.
And then speaking of global connections, Globo from Brazil.
All right.
And Dori TLV from Israel.
Cool.
Have signed
a multi-year distribution deal.
Nice.
And this is really going to allow both companies to
leverage their expertise,
leverage each other's expertise,
their network, reach a wider audience.
It's really a win-win.
It is, yeah, win-win for everybody.
Situation for everyone.
Yeah, it's a great example of how collaboration can really bridge those cultural divides and bring these diverse stories
to the forefront. And speaking of success stories, Fox has renewed the medical drama doc for a 2nd season.
Nice.
And this show...
Yeah, I've heard good things about that one.
It's based on the Italian hit doc Nelly Tumani.
Okay.
And it's clearly resonated with audiences, expert speaker. Yeah, it's a good reminder that sometimes those simpler stories really are the ones that
hit home the hardest.
Yeah, exactly.
The ones that stay with you.
Right. Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
Everything from...
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind.
The streaming wars to international collaborations.
Lots of changes.
We've seen, box office successes like Ne Zha 2 challenging those traditional power structures.
Absolutely. And documentaries like Leaving Neverland 2.
Right.
Sparking important conversations.
Yeah, it really feels like
it does.
We're witnessing a real transformation in the way entertainment is.
The way it's produced.
Produced and consumed.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where do we go from here?
Ooh, that's the big question, isn't it?
It is. What does all this mean?
It really is.
For the future of the industry.
Yeah. I mean, if you kind of zoom out a little bit, look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
I think what we're seeing is this convergence of forces.
Okay.
Yeah. Technology is obviously a huge driver of change right now.
For sure.
Audiences are demanding more diverse and inclusive content. And those lines between film, television, and digital media, they're blurring.
They are blurring. It's all becoming
one big thing.
One big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's exciting, though.
It is exciting.
It's exciting.
But I think what's really interesting is that even amidst all this change, the power of storytelling remains constant.
Yeah, that's the one thing that never changes.
It doesn't, and I think that's really comforting in a way.
It is, yeah.
Because people will always crave
those stories. That move them, challenge them.
Yeah.
Make them think differently about the world.
Exactly, and the platforms and formats may change.
And they may change, but that human need to connect through storytelling will always be there.
Absolutely. Well, as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm wondering, what kind of stories are you going to be seeking out?
Ooh, good question.
In this ever-changing landscape?
Yeah, it is a good question.
What kind of films, shows, documentaries are going to capture your imagination?
I mean, I think what's exciting is that we have more power than ever as viewers to shape the future of entertainment.
Right.
We can support the stories that resonate with us.
Yeah.
Seek out those voices that challenge our perspectives. Yeah. Embrace all this amazing content that's out there. And help create an entertainment landscape that really reflects the richness and complexity of our world.
That's a great note to end on.
It is, yeah.
I think we've seen a snapshot of an industry in flux. But one thing's for sure. The power of storytelling is as strong as ever.
Stronger than ever.
So keep exploring.
Keep exploring.
Keep discovering.
Keep discovering.
And keep those conversations going.
Absolutely.
And until next time.
Yeah.
Happy watching.
Happy watch.